नमस्कार विद्यार्थी मित्रांनो, आजच्या तिसऱ्या व्हिडिओमध्ये आपण सेक्शुअल रिप्रोडक्शन ऑफ प्लांट्स मधला पुढचा भाग, त्यामध्ये फिमेल रिप्रोडक्टिव्ह ऑर्गन्स पासून सुरुवात करणार आहे. मेगास्पोरोजेनेसिस, मेगागॅमेटोजेनेसिस अँड पॉलिनेशन इथपर्यंत आपण आजच्या भागामध्ये आपण अभ्यास करायचा, स्टडी करायची. In last video, we will study that microsporogenesis, how the microspores are produced, that is pollen rates. Microgametogenesis, what is the structure of male gametophyte? What is the structure of male gametes? How they are formed? इथपर्यंतचा भाग आपण पाहिला. आज आपण पाहणार आहे मेगास्पोरोजेनेसिस. In female reproductive work of the plant, it is called as gynosium. Gynosium, it is made up of carpels. Carpel shows three parts. Which are those? At the tip there is stigma. Middle portion is called as style. And towards the basal there is the globular ovary. Ovary, which is basal part of the carpel, and that produces ovules. What are the ovules? Ovules are called as integumented megasporangium. It is the biological name, technical name for the ovary. Integumented megasporangium. Today we are going to study the structure of angiospermic ovule. In angiosperms, there are different types of the ovules are present. In all, there are 6 types of the ovules are present. On the basis of the position of funiculus, chalaza, micropyle. ओव्ह्यूलच्या 3 वेगवेगळ्या भागांच्यावरती आधारित त्याच्या पोझिशनवरती ओव्ह्यूलचे एकूण 6 भाग पडतात. बट आउट ऑफ दिस 6 टाइप्स ऑफ द ओव्ह्यूल्स, द मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द एंजियोस्पर्म्स दे शो अनाट्रोपस टाइप ऑफ द ओव्ह्यूल. अनाट्रोपस या प्रकारचा ओव्ह्यूल जास्तीत जास्त एंजियोस्पर्म मध्ये. देयर आर डिफरंट टाइप्स लाइक ऑर्थोट्रोपस ओव्ह्यूल्स, अनाट्रोपस ओव्ह्यूल्स, amphitropous ovules, compylotropous ovules, sercinotropous ovules, hemianatropous ovules. These are the 6 types. त्यापैकी out of these 6, anatropous ovule is the very common of the angiosperms, and that's why you have to give in your examination the angiospermic ovule as anatropous ovule only. What is the nature of anatropous ovule? Anatropous ovule, it shows the funiculus, that is stalk, body and micropyle, they are present towards at one end. त्यामुळे फ्युनिक्युलस आणि मायक्रोपाईल हे एकाच बाजूला असतात. इट इज द इन्व्हर्टेड फॉर्म ऑफ द ओव्ह्यूल. वी विल सी द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ अनाट्रोपस ओव्ह्यूल. व्हॉट इज द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ओव्ह्यूल? ओव्ह्यूल, इट शोज मेनली 2 parts. Towards the base there is the stalk, and the stalk of the ovule is called as funiculus. Where it is attached? The funiculus is attached to the placenta in the ovary. And what is the function? The supplement of the nutrition to the ovule. Okay. The next and important part of the ovule is the body. Body of the ovule. It is made up of 2 parts. 2 भागांपासून body बनलेली. In the central part of the body, there is the parenchymatous mass of the cells. ओव्ह्यूलच्या मध्यभागी पॅरेन्कायमापासून बनलेला एक मास तयार होतो. And this central mass of the cells, parenchymatous cells, is called as nucellus. त्याला आपण म्हणतो nucellus. There are parenchymatous mass cells are present. This nucellus, it is surrounded by 2 layers. 2 layers या nucellusच्या भोवती असतात. These 2 layers, they are called as integuments. The integuments, towards the basal portion of the integuments, the portion is called as chalaza. त्याला chalaza म्हणतात. And towards the tip, the integuments, they cover all over the portion of the nucellus. And at the tip, there is only one minute opening or pore is present, and that pore is called as micropyle. Micropyle, the minute opening towards present at one end. The number of integuments in angiosperm, it is always 2. एंजिओस्पर्मच्या ओव्ह्यूल मध्ये 2 इंटेग्युमेंट्स असतात. ओके, ॲज द ओव्ह्यूल इज इन इन्व्हर्टेड फॉर्म, the majority of the portion of body is attached to the funiculus, and the entire portion of the body which is attached to the funiculus is called as raphe, and the point of attachment of the stalk and the body is called as hilum. Thus the ovule shows, in all there are different parts, that is funiculus, hilum, raphe, chalaza, micropyle, 2 integuments and central nucellus. When the ovary matures, in the nucellus, female gametophyte is produced. In other words, female gametophyte is also called as embryo sac. जसं microspore, pollen grain, these are the synonyms. त्याच पद्धतीनं female gametophyte, embryo sac, हे दोन्ही एका स्ट्रक्चरची नाव. Female gametophyte is produced in the nucellus. In angiosperms, the female gametophyte is 7-celled and 8 nucleated structure. यामध्ये 7 cells आणि 8 न्यूक्लियाय असतात. कसं तयार होतं? What is the structure? What is the arrangement? We will see. The end of the the end of the ovule, from where the integuments are originated, that is called as chalaza, and that end of the ovule is called as chalazal end. The opposite end of the ovule, where the micropyle is present, that end of the ovule is called as micropylar end of the ovule. Okay. In the embryo sac, toward the micropylar end, there are 3 cells, or a group of 3 cells is present, and that group is called as egg apparatus. In this group, the central cell is called as egg cell, and the nucleus is called egg nucleus or female gamete. 2 lateral cells, they are called as synergy cells. They help during the fertilization because they consist some filiform apparatus and which attract the pollen tube. पोलन ट्यूबला अट्रॅक्ट करण्याचं काम हे सिनर्जीड मध्ये असणारे फिलिफॉर्म ॲपरेटस करत असते. द एग न्यूक्लियस हिअर ऍक्ट्स ॲज फिमेल गॅमीट. मेल गॅमीट आठवा, मेल गॅमीट, देर आर 2 मेल गॅमीट्स प्रेझेंट इन द पोलन ट्यूब. मेल गॅमीट, female gamete, there is only 1 female gamete produced in the egg cell. Egg nucleus acts as female gamete. ठीक है. In the central region, मध्यभागी, there is again only 1 cell, but this cell consists 2 nuclei. यामध्ये 2 nuclei असतात, and that's why it is diploid. The only cell in the embryo sac diploid is the central cell, which is called as secondary nucleus, or these 2 nuclei are also called as polar nuclei. Polar nuclei किंवा secondary nucleus असं आपण त्याला म्हणतो. तो एकमेव डिप्लॉइड सेल आहे. बाकीचे सगळे म्हणजेच एग ॲपरेटस मध्ये असणारे सगळे सेल्स हॅप्लॉइड असतात. एकच क्रोमोसोमचा सेट त्यामध्ये असतो. टुवर्ड्स द चलाजल एंडच्या बाजूला देर आर अगेन ग्रुप ऑफ 3 सेल्स. तिथं पुन्हा 3 सेल्स असतात. त्याला आपण म्हणतो अँटीपोडल सेल्स. दे आर न्यूट्रिटिव्ह इन फंक्शन. दे आर ऑल्सो हॅप्लॉइड. ते सुद्धा हॅप्लॉइड असतात आणि त्यांचं फंक्शन आहे डेव्हलपिंग एम्ब्रियो सॅक किंवा फिमेल गॅमीट किंवा एम्ब्रियो त्यांना नरिशमेंट देणं ह्या अँटीपोडलचं फंक्शन. इट इज द ओव्हरऑल स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ ओव्ह्यूल ऑर इंटेग्युमेंटेड मेगास्पोरेंज. देन वी विल सी द फॉर्मेशन or development of the female gametophyte. How the female gametophyte in the ovule takes place. Development takes place. The female gametophyte is produced from the megaspore. Then how the megaspore is formed? Megaspore is formed from the any one cell of the nucellus. What is nucellus basically? Before formation of embryo sac, the nucellus is made up of a group of parenchymatous cells. Any one cell of the nucellus toward the micropylar end, ह्या nucellus मध्ये असणारा मायक्रोपायलर एंडच्या बाजूचा कोणताही एक सेल इट डिफरन्शिएट्स इटसेल्फ, इट ग्रोज, absorbs more nourishment from the surrounding cells and differentiates as itself as megaspore mother cell. या न्यूसेलस मध्ये असणारा कोणताही एक सेल हा मेगास्पोर मदर सेल म्हणून काम करतो. इट बिकम्स प्रोमिनंट. मेगास्पोर मदर सेल. देन मेगास्पोर मदर सेलचं फंक्शन काय? इट गिव्स राइज टू फॉर्मेशन ऑफ मेगास्पोर्स. Megaspore mother cell undergoes important cell division which is called as meiosis. या megaspore mother cell मध्ये meiosis होतं and at the end of meiosis 4 megaspores are formed. ही सगळी प्रक्रिया कुठे चालू आहे? In the nucleus. 4 megaspores are formed and they are arranged in the vertical row of cells. हे 4 एका उभ्या vertical row मध्ये arranged होतात. Out of these 4 vertical cells हे 4 megaspore पैकी upper 3 वरच्या बाजूचे 3 नामशेष होतात. They undergo degeneration and the basal one remains functional and that's why it is called as functional megaspore. त्याला आपण functional megaspore म्हणजे फिमेल एका ओव्ह्यूल मध्ये एकच मेगास्पोर आहे. Then what happens in this megaspore? The megaspore gives rise to formation of female gametophyte. यापासून female gametophyte तयार होतो. त्याला आपण म्हणतो embryocyte. How it is formed? Okay. The nucleus of the functional megaspore, only nucleus of the functional megaspore undergoes 3 successive mitotic divisions. या न्यूक्लियस मध्ये 3दा मायटोसिस होतो. At the end of first mitosis, the nucleus undergoes division. 2 nuclei are formed. Both nuclei go to the opposite ends of the cell. It is called as 2 nucleated embryos. At the end of second mitosis, these 2 nuclei again undergo cell division. 4 nuclei are formed and it is called as now 4 nucleated embryos. And after third mitosis, these 2 nuclei which are present at opposite ends of the cell, they again undergo division and form 4 nuclei at each pole, and in all 8 nuclei are formed. It is called as now called as 8 nucleated embryos. Then these 8 nuclei, they undergo organization. Some movement of the nuclei takes place. One nucleus from each pole migrates towards the center. दोन्ही बाजूला जे 4 न्यूक्लियर तयार झालेले आहेत त्यापैकी एक न्यूक्लियस चलाजल एंडचा एक आणि मायक्रोपायलर एंडचा एक हे मध्यभागी शिफ्ट होतात, मायग्रेट होतात. त्यामुळे मध्यभागी किती न्यूक्लियर तयार होतात? 2. चलाजल एंडला 3, मायक्रोपायलर एंडला 3, अशा 8 न्यूक्लियर. Then each nucleus collects some of the cytoplasm and cell wall formation takes place around each nucleus. प्रत्येक न्यूक्लियसच्या भोवती सेल वॉल तयार. त्यामुळे मायक्रोपायलर एंडच्या बाजूला काय होईल? 3 न्यूक्लियाय, 3 न्यूक्लियसच्या भोवती 3 सेल वॉल तयार झाले आणि ग्रुप ऑफ 3 cells is formed which we call as egg apparatus. Antipodal cell ला काय होतं? Towards the chalaza end, again there are 3 nuclei, they form cell wall again around them and 3 cells are formed. They are called as antipodal cells. But what happens in the center? In the central region, there are 2 nuclei. Both these nuclei togetherly form a cell wall around them, and 2 nuclei are present in the single cell, which is called as secondary nucleus. And as these 2 nuclei they are migrated from the different poles, they are also called as polar nuclei, and that's why they are diploid. 2 nuclei एकाच सेल मध्ये असतात म्हणून तो डिप्लॉइड असतो, बाकीचे सगळे हॅप्लॉइड असतात. Thus 7 cell and 8 nucleated embryocyte or female gametophyte is formed here. Thus, for the sexual reproduction, 2 things are necessary. One is male gamete, other is female gamete. Male and female gamete undergo fusion and fertilization takes place. After fertilization, new organism is produced. We are already studied formation of male gametophyte, how male gametophyte is produced, how male gametes are produced, how female gametophyte is produced, and what is the nature of female gamete. What is the female gamete here actually? The egg nucleus is the female gamete. Thus, both the gametes we are already studied. Then, next step, the important step here for the fertilization or reproduction is pollination. यातला पुढचा भाग म्हणजे आपण पॉलिनेशन पाहतो. बिफोर गोईंग टू फर्टिलायझेशन पाहण्यापूर्वी म्हणजे हे मेल गॅमेट आणि फिमेल गॅमेट तयार झालेले फ्यूज कसे होतात या प्रक्रियेला आपण फर्टिलायझेशन म्हणतो. हे फर्टिलायझेशन पाहण्यापूर्वी आपण एक महत्वाची प्रोसेस की जी घडणं अत्यंत आवश्यक आहे त्या प्रोसेसला आपण म्हणतो पॉलिनेशन. मराठीमध्ये त्याला आपण म्हणतो परागीभवन किंवा परागीकरण. व्हॉट इज पॉलिनेशन? Pollination is the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma. Anther पासून स्टिग्मा पर्यंत होणारा पोलन ग्रेन्सचा प्रवास किंवा त्याचा ट्रान्सफर त्याला आपण म्हणतो पॉलिनेशन. पॉलिनेशन मध्ये दोन मुख्य प्रकार. देर आर टू मेन टाइप्स ऑफ द पॉलिनेशन. सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन अँड क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन. What is the main difference, or what is the self-pollination? What is the cross-pollination? Self-pollination. Self-pollination, here the transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma of same flower or another flower of same plant. म्हणजेच एकाच फुलामध्ये होणारं परागीभवन पॉलिनेशन आपण म्हणू. एकाच फुलामध्ये होणारं पॉलिनेशन किंवा एकाच प्लांट मधील दोन फुलांच्या मध्ये होणारं पॉलिनेशन असेल तर त्याला आपण म्हणतो सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन. ओके. ओनली वन मदर प्लांट इज व्हेरी इम्पॉर्टंट थिंग इज हियर देर आर अगेन टू अल्टरनेटिव्स. व्हेन द पॉलिनेशन टेक्स प्लेस इन ओनली वन फ्लावर इट इज कॉल्ड एज ऑटोगॅमी. ऑटो मीन्स सेल्फ, gamous marriage, self marriage in the same flower. When transfer of pollen grains takes place in same flower, it is called as autogamy. Another type of the self pollination is geitonogamy. Geiton, neighbor, gamous, marriage. When transfer of pollen grains takes place from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower, but they must be produced on same mother plant. एकाच प्लांट मधील दोन फ्लावर मध्ये होणारं पॉलिनेशन त्याला आपण म्हणतो जिटनोगिया. इट इज सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन. देन वी विल मूव टुवर्ड्स द क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन. व्हाट इज क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन? इन क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन, ट्रांसफर ऑफ anther to the stigma is must. It is a transfer of pollen grains from anther of one flower to the stigma of other flower produced on another plant. म्हणजेच इथं दोन प्लांट मध्ये होणारं पॉलिनेशन हे जास्त महत्वाचं. टू पॉलिनेशन टेक्स प्लेस इन बिटवीन फ्लावर्स ऑफ टू डिफरंट प्लांट्स. हियर अगेन देर आर टू पॉसिबिलिटीज. फर्स्ट इज जिनोगॅमी. जिनॉस मीन्स स्ट्रेंजर अनोळखी व्यक्ती. बरोबर. Gamous marriage. When the transfer of pollen grains takes place from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower produced on another plant of different species. Self pollination ला काय असतं? सॉरी, जिनोगॅमी, transfer of pollen grains from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower of another plants of same species, not different species. If it is in between same species, it is called as gynogamy. And if it takes place in between two different species, it is called as hybridization. Transfer of pollen grains from the anther of one flower to the stigma of another flower of another plant of different species, it is called as hybridization. How these pollen grains are transferred from one flower to another flower? Whether they are motile, whether they have any organs for the motility? No. Pollen grains are non-motile. That's why they have to be transferred with the help of some media for the transfer of the pollen grains. And these media which bring about transfer of pollen grains from one flower to the another flower or from anther to the stigma, these media are called as pollinating agents. There are two main types of the pollinating agents. One is abiotic pollinating agents and other one is biotic pollinating agents. These abiotic pollinating agents and biotic pollinating agents, what are those? What are the different examples of the different flowers? What are the different peculiarities of the flowers? We will see this in the next video. Thank you.